Jeffrey, why am I sleeping with all my clothes on and you're walking on a popsicle stick?
Well, we are going to do an episode on sleep. So that's probably why.
We're doing a sleep episode?
Yeah, sleep episode.
Okay.
When I wake up in the morning, love, and my heart is filled with pain.
I had a job working at a bakery where I had to get up at 4:30 in the morning to be there at 5 in the morning.
For the rest of your life.
Then put your little hand in mine. Then put your little hand in mine. There ain't no hill or mountain. Then put your little hand in mine. There ain't no hill or mountain we can't climb.
There have been nights when I only got 5 hours of sleep and I will get up in the morning if I have to do something. But, normally I had to change my sleeping habits because before that I was working at a restaurant where I had to stay up till like 1 in the morning. So I had to start going to bed at 9 when I got that other job.
And when you were doing both jobs at one point.
I was doing both jobs at one point, but not... There was never a point where I was going early at the bakery and late night at the restaurant. There was never a point.
Yeah,
then.
there wasn't much of a crossover
No.
there. But it definitely took some toll. And
Yes.
so the reason why I thought it would be a cool thing to bring up or something that we should talk about this week is that I've started something new. And I've started going to bed at 9 and then waking up at 6. And I've just kind of come to this epiphany at almost 40 years old. That if I can't get things done by 9 o'clock at night, then I'm probably doing something wrong, which means I'm spending too much time on Facebook, I'm spending too much time on Instagram, I'm spending too much time on YouTube, whatever the case may be. I'm spending too much time getting distracted and not enough time focusing on what I'm supposed to be doing.
As you seem, stay awake, don't nod and dream.
Now that it's 9 o'clock and I'm disciplining myself to get to bed, how do I fall asleep? Because a lot of times if you're into a pattern of staying up late, the tendency would be to like go to the phone and start watching videos until you fall asleep or read on your phone or whatever. And studies have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that if that blue glow is on an hour before bedtime, you're going to mess with your melatonin and your ability to sleep through the night. Now, you might not have such a problem with that because you're so young that you pretty much just crash. But as you get older, your brain, you've got a lot more on your mind. You're thinking about the kids. You're thinking about diving, whatever, where you're going to drive, where you're going to go. So I found the cool app. I'm particularly fond of this white noise app in the App Store for the phone, and my favorite sound is heavy rain pouring. So makes me want to go sleep right now.
Just turn it down and put it in front of the microphone.
Put it in front of the microphone. But so that helps me. That helps me fall asleep. And then they have a bunch of other ones. They've got heavy rain. They've got like if you're on a ship. That would probably make me seasick. Not sleepy, but seasick. One of my favorites that I haven't tried yet. Oh, kitty purring. So Genius is at White Noise app. Good job for getting your sounds going. Oh, this one. I want to try this one sometime. That just sounds so soothing to me.
It does, yeah.
And so, Jeffrey, I think that part of what you do to help you fall asleep is you do these ASMR videos, and I know you're going to show us some clips of the ASMR videos. But if you could explain what they are, a little bit, and how they help you, then maybe we can show some videos on them and go from there.
ASMR is it means autonomous sensory meridian response, and it's like goosebumps on your head that is triggered by certain sounds. Typically, you'll wear headphones, and they'll have like the 3D sound, so they'll go over to your left ear and then over to your right ear. But yeah, it just helps me sleep. It's very relaxing.
Certainly see how that could put you into a sleepy like state. While it might not give me goosebumps or send me into a soporific state, it's definitely relaxing and state changing.
Yeah.
That's for sure. And while this is the moment in our show when we would normally have question car, I think he's asleep on the job.
I think he's asleep. On the
I think we might need to wake up the Q car and get his little booty over here. Wake up,
Come
Q
on.
car. Come
Come
on.
on.
Okay, here comes Q car. It's just our silly way of answering your questions that aren't silly. He's going
He's
very
trudging.
slow. What's today's question?
He's too tired.
He's too tired. Okay, today's question. This question comes from @blushbyvive. And if you could pop up their shop so we could see some of their cool photos of what they sell. She asks, how do you homeschool long term? The thought scares me right now. I think from what I remember in her original post, she's got like a first grader. So she knows there's a lot more coming. What do you, as a homeschooled kid from like second grade on, what do you like remember the most growing up as far as like school? I don't know. I guess in your daily days, what do you remember most?
Before I went into school, I already knew how to read. I already learned how to count. When I get into school, it was the other stuff, history, English, spelling, math,
studies, I guess.
social
That's
studies,
history.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's what I remember learning about.
Like, if you're going to look back and you're going to be like, I was homeschooled, what do you remember now as an 18-year-old as far as, like, the schooling, like, the day-to-day process of being educated? Because I think that's the main thing that people don't necessarily understand is that when we say unschooling, while it's a little bit like, it makes people curious because it sounds like we're not schooling at all. The reality is, and what we believe is that you're learning every day. That life is an education. And rather than just say, okay, go to school, sit down, do your homework, do your worksheets, do all this stuff. Do you feel at 18 that you're just as capable as anybody else who's 18, 20, 21 years old to take care of yourself on your own, even though you were homeschooled and not schooled in a school system?
To take care of myself on my own, yes. I think I would be more than capable of doing it, as well as, if not better, than any other kid my age.
Other than, plus the fact that mom and dad are there to help set things
Yeah.
up. So I guess trying to answer your question, Blush by V, is that it's a long-term process, but if you look at it at the end and kind of take an overall picture of the homeschooling process and the unschooling process, what we're attempting to do is we're attempting to equip young adults to be able to be self-sufficient as young adults and to have confidence. And so day in and day out, we've really worked with the kids ever since they were little to get more and more confidence. And a lot of times that confidence comes from studying what they love to do. So maybe you're a first grader, maybe they just love to draw right now. Well, then take them to museums and focus all of their learning that you possibly can on drawing. Maybe next year they're going to love animals. So go to the zoo a lot more that year. And so we've talked about it in the past, in the past episode about project-based learning, and that's how we do a big part of our learning. Another part is like sometimes interests come and interests go, and what your child's interested in now might not be what they're interested in next year, but I think a successful homeschool, a successful unschool environment is looking at your kids and just having a great time as they're growing up and building their confidence, because confidence is the key factor towards producing a mature adult who's able to take care of themselves once they get older. So thank you for sending in your question. Guys, please feel free to send our questions in to our Instagram account. Hope we answer them. We try to answer them as best as possible. This show isn't got a lot of bells and whistles, but we do try to make education fun. And Q Car is getting filled up again. Thank you so much. Send your questions to our Facebook page at Unschool Me, our Instagram account at the Unschool Me Show. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Thank you also, viewers, for sending us your input. Now we have better lighting,
Better camera,
better quality.
better sound.
Yeah.
So hopefully we're looking better. With my new sleep routine, I'm waking up and running every morning. So if my son would stop baking me carbs, that would be probably even better. Have an awesome day, you guys, and we're thinking about you. Thanks for unlearning with us today on our show. How many movies do you think you've done?
About over 11.